Today on the show, we have Russell Lundstrom. His company is called Marketing Plan Formula, and he is the marketing architect or marketect, and they come in and they help you create blueprints for your marketing plan. So thanks, Russ, for being on the show today.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Chad. Happy to be here.
So we were just talking about some of the struggles and the 25 businesses you've created.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I think it's a sickness, this whole entrepreneur thing. You got to have a screw loose sometimes. It's the hardest job in the world. But I've certainly had my fair share of failure. I think probably the most impactful one in my career has been the supplement business. It's now a multi-million-dollar business. I started with my sister in 2013. We were working in the health space and with another company that we actually tried to purchase, which also fell through. So that technically kind of could have been a failure too. And out of that came the opportunity to say, hey, let's go start our own supplement company. And we had the idea, this was back in 2012, 13, before the whole nootropic and brain health science field exploded, of coming up with a high performance supplement for brain health, because no one at the time was doing it. And so we started this business. At one point, we were juggling 22 credit cards. We had a second mortgage on the house, all self-funded. We were trying to make the business successful. We had this original vision of starting this high performance entrepreneur athlete type company. And I woke up one day and I realized our customers were baby boomers who were afraid of dementia. And that's about 180 degrees away from the original vision. And while the business was successful at that point, I realized it wasn't the business I had dreamed of. And it wasn't the business I even wanted to be in. I actually ended up leaving that business. And so not only did I have 4 years of my life invested into this company, I now had to walk away, start over. That entire investment was gone. And now in hindsight, the opportunity cost, my sister continues to run that business. It's now a multi-million-dollar business. So that's a hard lesson. And that always goes to being really clear with your vision. And that's kind of what brought me to today, is this idea of where is the blueprint that keeps you on track? So you build the house you want to live in and not build some house that wasn't your vision. So that was probably one of the most instrumental left turns in my life, outside of just losing all my money on multiple occasions. But yeah, that's what brought me here today.
Let's talk about losing money on multiple occasions, because I'm also of that path. How do you pull yourself out each time?
It's kind of like a sickness. It's either I'm completely unemployable or my ambition just far outweighs any sense of quitting. My father was one of those immigrants who came over from Europe with $100 in his pocket and came to America because this was the land of opportunity. And so we were raised with that belief instilled in us. When I look around, entrepreneurs are my people. If I look around my desk, everything of value, whether it's my iPhone, my headphones, this coffee cup, it's not because government made it. It's not because of some big corporation made it. It's some crazy entrepreneur had some crazy idea in his garage and leveraged everything to make that dream a reality. And so I recognize that it's the small business entrepreneur that's where the majority of our quality of life comes from. And so for me, my reason I get up every day is if I can help other small business entrepreneurs grow their business, as Steve Jobs said, that's my little dent in the universe. That's the way I can help raise the standard and quality of life for everybody on the planet.
So what does this blueprint technique look like?
So I think that too was born out of failure. I mentioned the whole losing the money thing. When my first son was born in 2017-ish, or excuse me, 2007-ish, I was trying to learn how to trade futures. And during the 2008 was not the best year to be getting into the financial markets, if you recall that. And I had lost everything. And so since then, I basically just worked with a lot of different entrepreneurs, and I kept hearing over and over and over these CEOs and founders, oh, I hired XYZ marketing company, spent $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 with them and got nothing for it. Matter of fact, I had a call yesterday with someone that's paying 5 figures a month and not happy with the results. And I realized it wasn't necessarily that the marketer was failing at their job, and it wasn't the CEO that was failing in convincing or having a bad product or service. It was really this idea of a blueprint. The marketer doesn't know what house to build. Is it an Adobe house? Is it a colonial? How many bedrooms, bathrooms, etc.? So this is what, and it was all those failure stories that I, in 2019, had a little whiteboard epiphany and figured out, hey, you can actually reverse engineer a business and create the marketing plan that's unique to that business, and really just shows the entrepreneur and founder, here's our pile of resources, here's our products, here's how much money and time we have, and human resources, and here's how to deploy those in the most efficient manner. Exactly like building a home. If you're building your dream home, you would have the financing, and then you go hire a general contractor to help pull together everything. And then you go hire the plumbers, electricians, drywallers, all those people. And the necessary, or the key ingredient in building a house is you have an architect draw up and draft the blueprint. Then everybody knows what to build, but that doesn't exist in the business world. 99.9% of all business owners I talk to, they end up basically just raising the money, having the vision, and then going out and hiring the general contractor, or even worse, they hire the plumber, electrician, and drywaller to build their house. And that's why most marketing engagements fail. So we just figured out how do you do the blueprint?
I think you're onto something.
We hope so. It works. We've got a lot of client success, and we actually just teach it now. That's all we're doing. So
yeah, that's great.
What's your biggest failure?
Oh, mine? Well, normally I don't even get asked that question. I have so many. I can go back to one where I just lost a bunch of money. Great idea, wrong people. So 2019, I said the world is going to end. I should be investing in lending, gold, metals, things like this. So I invested in a pawn shop. I bought a equity position in the pawn shop. Great business model because they lend at like a 26% interest rate, and they're acquiring metals. Poor management, the thing completely imploded and fell apart. So right idea, wrong people, lost everything I put in. But you have to try.
What gets you then back up on your feet?
I think there's something deep inside entrepreneurs that we are not willing to give up. And we take these, and they hurt. But instead of just letting it break us down, we figure out, okay, how do I make this money back? What did I do wrong, and how do I not repeat those mistakes? And this is a lesson, and it's a painful lesson, and therefore it will stay with me.
Yeah. Failure and mistakes are necessary ingredients to success. They're the stepping stones to success. And without failing, you're not going to see success. Now, every once in a while, you see the lottery winner, business lottery or real lottery. But for the vast majority of the rest of us, it's a process of that. Fail, learn, pick yourself back up, and move forward. So I really appreciate you bringing this to the forefront because it's not talked about enough.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad you see that as well. So what would your advice be to new entrepreneurs or people just starting out or failing, just like us?
Just failing. What's really interesting is how it correlates with people who have this idea of perfection and this perfectionist paralysis. Like my son's 13 years old and he is a perfectionist. And so he refuses to even try something out of fear of failing. And so he is, rather than going forth and charging through life and taking the risk of failing, instead, he's taking this very cautious path, and I'm trying to beat it out of him. Not literally, of course, but that, hey, man, failure is not only encouraged, but it's necessary. You have to go fail. Like, especially if you're an entrepreneur, it's so difficult having a successful business. Even though we live in a world that has more opportunity you can throw a stick at, it's hard. And you need to have both the fortitude and I think the vision where we started this story. You got to have that vision that gets you up in the morning and helps you work late into the night and say no to things and sacrificing and making your business a reality.
Yeah, that is it. You got to force it into reality because that's what
Sometimes
entrepreneurs have to do.
it's literally like pushing and shoving. It's not easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Russ, if our listeners wanted to reach out to you to get one of those blueprints created, how could they
Yeah.
do so?
More than happy. Like I said, my mission is to, if I can help small business owners be more successful, I'm all in. So we have this thing called the single sheet marketing plan, and it's meant to be a little difficult to fill out, but everyone's welcome to go to our site. Just go to marketingplanformula.com/failure and you can download it. And once you download it, try and fill it out. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's meant to make you think. And if you do get stuck, we invite you to pick up the phone and we'll help you fill it out and get your business back on track. So our job, we just run a school to teach people how to do this stuff. And the more people that know how to do this, the more people will see success. And that's what we do on a daily basis. So I'd invite everyone just to go get that and let us help you.
All right, Russ. Well, thank you for being on the show, and everybody make sure to go check out that educational stuff Russ has on his site. And
Thanks
thank you,
for
everybody.
having me.
Oh, definitely. I'm glad you came on. Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Failing to Success. I'm your host, Chad Kalecki with Cosmic Design and Development. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.